You want to retire in 10 years? You got any clue how to pull that off? I don't have all the answers, but I do have half. Half because this video is part 2 in my series of how to invest to retire in 10 years. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Skylar James. Check out part 1 if you haven't seen it, but I'll move forward as if you already have. It's not a requirement that you've seen it. So what other sectors are poised for massive growth? What's left on the ETF list? Well, everything is left. Too much is left. Okay, but really, I narrowed it down to 5 sectors for this video. That means 10 in total for the series on how to retire in a decade. A simple concept, but not easy to execute. At the end of this video, I'll tell you 2 sectors that I refuse to allocate investment dollars toward. You'll want to stick around for that. And remember, for almost every ETF I mention in this series, I have a more in-depth analysis of it somewhere on my channel. Part 3, the video after this, will be model portfolio ideas, different percentages and allocations of these ETFs depending on your risk appetite. Let's begin with the Cannabis ETF. The cannabis thesis is easy to fall in love with. Federal legalization seems inevitable. Such a change would bring legal cannabis to tens of millions of Americans who don't have access to it today. And it would mark the beginning of interstate commerce for existing state legal cannabis companies. There's a massive amount of money to be collectively made in that industry. But how to play it? I like the CNBS ETF from Amplify. If I were just pressing the easy button, I'd choose CNBS. I like it because it's actively managed and it leans on pick and shovel plays. I say tuck this one in the corner of your brokerage account and forget about it for a decade. It will be volatile. Ignore that volatility. And check out my cannabis investment video for a full rundown of all the cannabis ETFs on the market. Let's talk about another revolutionary change, the inevitable shift away from fossil fuels toward clean, renewable energy, and which stocks stand to benefit from that. Similar to cannabis legalization, the change is inevitable, but the timetable is what's uncertain, and the stock prices reflect that uncertainty. Check out the ups and downs in the performance of PBW, one of my favorite clean energy ETFs. Big increases are followed by big drops, but don't let emotion enter into your investment decisions. Just stomach this volatility because the thesis behind clean energy is solid. I like iClean from iShares and PBW from Invesco for an efficient 2-pronged attack on this sector. Check out my full-length analysis for why these 2 ETFs in particular stand out in a very crowded field of lookalikes. ETF number 3 covers cybersecurity, another sector with a handful of lookalike ETFs, all scheming to get their paws on your expense ratio. WCBR from Wisdom Tree stands out for its relatively low cost. This one covers the big cybersecurity firms. Check out the overlap of the ETFs covering this space. 50+% is a huge overlap. Just take my word for it. As someone who looks at this stuff all day, so the least expensive one is your logical choice. And here's basically how cybersecurity stocks perform. We all see headlines of big corporate hacks. That day, cybersecurity stocks rise 5%, and they never retreat from that price. That happens 2-3 times a year. Okay, it's not that simple, but my UCYB video can fill you in further on the thesis. Ticker again is WCBR. It's a solid choice for a decade-long hold. I've got a couple more for you, and then the 2 ETFs that I'm personally avoiding. Now, I've already mentioned several software-centered ETFs, but they are specific areas of software: data, cloud, and cybersecurity. I still need exposure to broad software. There are 2 obvious choices for that: IGV and XSW. IGV is from iShares. It's market cap weighted with $6.5 billion in AUM. I'd say IGV is standard software ETF, and its returns are led by the likes of Microsoft and Adobe and Salesforce. XSW is equal weighted with over 180 holdings and has a weighted average market cap under $45 billion. IGV's is over $300 billion. So what's all this mean? It means tactically using both these ETFs provide safety in the big companies while also getting upside from the smaller companies through XSW. The easiest decision is these two ETFs. The much harder decision is how much weight to allocate to each. That's for part 3 of the series though. Be sure to subscribe to get notified when that video releases. Our 10th sector is automation and AI, and the choice is IRBO from iShares. I covered this in my 2022 growth ETF video, but a quick recap on why this one is important. AI, automation, and robotics all overlap and intersect at different places, and together these will make our world unrecognizable in just 10 years' time. This ETF profits from those concepts. At a quick glance, these holdings might look like a mishmash of equal weighted tech, but IRBO's performance will really pick up in the back half of this decade. Since the market is a forward-looking mechanism, this one is a must-buy now. You can't get in at the bottom unless you buy at the bottom. Now, before I give you the 2 sectors I'm avoiding, let's recap those 5 investable sectors and pair them with the 5 sectors from part 1, a complete overview. We started this video with CNBS for cannabis coverage and PBW and ICLN for renewable energy coverage, and those are both bound to be volatile in the near term, but rewarding over the long term. WCBR is my cybersecurity play, and IGV and XSW give me complete software sector coverage, so don't leave anything behind. And I rounded it out with IRBO from iShares. Pair those with the 5 sectors and ETFs from part 1, and this portfolio could lead you to early retirement in just a decade's time. Remember, we promised transformational change 40 years ago in sci-fi novels and movies. This is an ETF portfolio that shows the realization of those promises. The transformational changes are here, friends, and this portfolio is how I'll be making money from them. The 3rd and final video in this series will be allocation ideas, percentages for this ETF or that ETF based on ideas of how the coming decade might unfold from a technology and legislative perspective. But here's what I've wanted you to hang out for. 2 sectors are blatantly, obviously missing from my investment list. Have you guessed them yet? Here's a hint. Musk and Zuckerberg. It's EVs and the Metaverse, and here's why. As I record this, Lucid's market cap just passed Ford's. Rivian's market cap just passed Volkswagen. These are 2 brand new companies with virtually 0 revenue. The speculation has gotten wild in the EV space. These new EV makers are going to be competing for the same consumers, personal or business, as the car makers of today. It's the same demand. We don't actually have unmet demand. We have supply chain issues, but we didn't have unmet demand for cars in 2019 or earlier. So where is all of this new market cap coming from? The collective size of the automakers has gotten too large and is destined for a big correction. I don't know when, so I can't justify holding EVs for 10 years. But I do have a handful of videos about EV investing in my channel that you'll probably find informative if you're interested in investing in that space. I urge you to check them out. And finally, no Metaverse ETF. Why? If you caught my Metaverse investment video, you heard me say that I'm already exposed to this theme without having to use a specific ETF. Look at the holdings of Round Hill Metaverse ETF. I have exposure to all these already in other ETFs. Software, semis, cloud. No need to clutter up the brokerage list with extra holdings. Keep an eye out for part 3 allocation ideas. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.